You're playing small and you know it. You're tiptoeing around what you really want to do. What you really need to do, and I get it. You don't want to be called manipulative. You don't want to break rapport. You don't want to be rejected for standing tall, for leading, for saying all the things that need to be said. But here's the truth. You're scared. You're scared of what people will think. You're scared of their judgments. You're scared of not being liked. And guess what? That fear, it's exactly what keeps you stuck. It's what keeps your energy in that lower, drained place, where you feel like you're not moving forward. Let me tell you something about fear. It's a trap. It's not just your fear, it's theirs too. When you step into your power, you break their prison. Their little world of limitations, of fear, of safety. And that's what they're resisting. Because when you lead them, you're helping them free themselves. You're not manipulating, you're liberating. You're doing the most loving thing that you could ever do. But let's hit pause for a second and break this down scientifically. Fear, it's simply your brain trying to keep you safe, based on old data, old beliefs, outdated programming. But when you disrupt that, when you introduce something new, something uncomfortable, your brain enters what's called a state of neuroplasticity. It's a fancy term, but all it means is you're capable of rewiring your brain. And that rewiring happens when you disrupt patterns, when you change old beliefs, when you shake things up. So here's what's going on when you get in there. Shake things up and push them out of their comfort zone. You're making them think. And thinking isn't a passive thing. When you make someone think, you wake them up. They're no longer on autopilot, doing the same crap, same pattern over and over again. They start questioning everything, even their own limitations. That's when change happens. That's when you get to step into your leadership. Because you can lead them to freedom, not by holding their hand and being soft, but by pulling them out of their own mental quicksand. Here's the kicker, you already do this, without even realizing it. Every time you challenge your own beliefs, every time you push yourself to step into that uncomfortable space, you're doing it. When you face those uncomfortable situations, whether in work, in relationships, in life, you're stretching yourself. You're pushing against those limits. You're leading yourself. But you've been taught all your life that this is wrong, that it's rude, that it's manipulative. They've got you convinced that power, leadership and influence are bad things. They've taught you to be afraid of your own damn strength. Now let's get real. You're afraid to step up because you don't want to be seen as too much. But let me ask you, what the fuck are you really afraid of? Why are you playing small? Why are you hiding your power? Is it because you're afraid of what they'll think? Or is it because you've been told you're not allowed to own your strength? But here's the thing. You're already manipulating yourself by not leading, by not stepping into that power. You're holding back the healing and the change that you could bring into the world. So stop trying to fit into some bullshit box when you've been told to be small. Your power is your gift, not a fucking curse. Let's take this a step further. Why do we get stuck? Well, the patterns that we get stuck in are comfort zones. They're those safe little routines, those protective beliefs that keep us from growing. Things like fear of rejection, fear of conflict, and fear of not being liked. They drain us, they suppress us. They stop us from going after what we really want. And the kicker, we cling to them because we've been taught that they're safe, but the truth is they're not. They're the very chains that hold you in place. So here's what you need to do. Interrupt the pattern. You don't need to make a big, dramatic change right away. You just need to start interrupting those little moments of fear. When you feel that resistance, that pullback, that desire to shrink, don't. Step into it. Lean into the discomfort. Push through the fear. Make the change, however small, because each step forward, It's a shift in your neural pathway. And yeah, the first times will feel weird as hell. That's good. You're breaking new ground. You're expanding. You're doing something your brain hasn't done before. And guess what? The brain loves new experiences. It thrives on them. It changes because of them. This is how you reprogram your beliefs, your behaviours, and ultimately your entire identity. Let's talk about how you can use this to help others. How you can use this leadership to create real, lasting change in their lives. Here's how you do it. You pace their current beliefs. You meet them where they're at, understanding their fears, their beliefs, their limitations. You don't judge them for it. You don't try to change them yet. You're just present, listening, understanding. And then you start leading. You start introducing new perspectives, new ideas, new ways of seeing the world. You drop little truths that shift their mindset without them even realizing it. It's like planting a seed in their mind that will grow over time. And here's the beauty of it. They'll never even know you're doing it. It'll feel like their own idea, like they came up with it. That's the magic. Because you're not just pushing your agenda on them. You're giving them the space to grow into new beliefs, new behaviours, new identities. So what happens when you do this? What happens when you stop living in fear and start embracing your power? Your relationships will change. Your work will change. Your energy will change. You'll stop giving a shit about what people think. And you'll start living on your own terms as a leader, the creator, the fucking force that you're always meant to be. The world doesn't need more followers. It doesn't need more people playing small. The world needs leaders. And that leader, that's you. You already have the power. All you need to do is stop being afraid of it. So let me ask you again. Why the fuck are you afraid to own it? This is your life, your legacy. Don't waste it shrinking. Don't waste it hiding. Get the hell out of your own way.